Hi, I'm Ross from Crimsmith Property Accountants, and today we're looking at what should you do if your interest rate, your mortgages are coming up for renewal. Should you fix 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year? What is right for you? So obviously there's three options that could happen. None of us have a crystal ball. None of us really know exactly what these are. Interest rates could stay the same. 5.45% fixed for 1 year. Maybe that stays the same for the next 5 years. Highly unlikely, but I suppose it's possible. That's option one. Option two, interest rates go down. Option three, interest rates go up. So let's have a little look at what those different options could look like. And this might help you decide which is the best interest rate to go for or which interest term is best to go for. So let's say you've got a reasonable loan, $500,000 loan. You're looking at the different rates which are valid as at today, 18th of October. So I'm looking at Westpac rates. 5 year 5.85, 2 year 5.75, 3 year 5.75, and 1 year rate 5.45. So obviously, if the interest rate manages to stay the same the whole way along and stay at 5.45% for the next 5 years, if we stayed on 1 year rate, you'd pay 136,000 of interest, so 27,000 a year. If you went on the 5 year rate, you'd pay 29, so it would cost you about 2,000 a year if you fix for 5 year compared with the current rate if it stayed the same. So that's option one. Highly unlikely interest rates stay at 5.45 the whole way. Then you're really looking at the best of the two evils. If interest rates go down, what do you think they realistically could do over the next 5 years? And none of us know, none of us have a crystal ball. But let's be really positive. What would we say is a good year interest rate in 1 year's time if we fixed again? Realistically, 5.45, I think we'd all be pretty happy with that if it stayed exactly the same. And then maybe year three down to 5, and maybe interest rates get to 4.5 and steady at 4.5. I think most of us agree that would be pretty outstanding. We would be pretty happy with that. So in that case, yeah, each year, the 1 year compared with the 5 is lower. We would save about 21,000 over that time. So you can see over a 5 year period, there starts to get quite a lot of risk in there. Fixing at 5.85 and maybe interest rates dropping low if we're being really nice and being, really good to interest rates. There's 21,000 difference, which is a lot. If you're looking at the 2 year, you're looking at 5.75 versus 5.45 and 5.45. So you're looking about 1,500 savings a year, $3,000. If you're looking 3 year, you're looking the same. And if interest rates did go down, maybe 3,700. So over 3 years, you potentially look at saving $7,000. So that's our best case if interest rates go down. We obviously would be better to fix for 1 year if they went down, better than fixing for 5, 2, or 3. That's really obvious, but we don't know whether that's going to happen. So that's option two. Option three, so if we just copy this and we'll move it to the end. So our floating, we'll just rename that option three, so we all know what we're talking about. Let's do the same, but what's the worst that could happen to interest rates? So we fixed for 1 year, 5.45. Awesome. In a year's time, what could interest rates go up to? And realistically, are we looking at 7.5%? Is that a possibility? So if we're being really negative rather than positive, maybe 7.5% in 2 years' time. Maybe then it goes down a little bit. So maybe it comes back to 7, maybe 6.5, 6. Yeah, something like that. There's no right answer, but is that your sort of guess of what the worst case interest rates could do? That they balloon up, they get inflation in control, and they slowly come back again. So in that case, 5 year rate, 146,000, 1 year rate, 162, $16,000 better off to be on the 5 year rate than the 1 year rate. Really interesting, really hard to pick over 5 years. Really a big fat guess what might happen in that, especially year 3, 4, and 5. Even year 2 at the moment, big fat guess. The 2 year rate, we're looking at costing us an additional $1,500 for the first year, but then saving $8,700. Similar with 3-year rate, we're looking at being down for first year and then saving for the others. So what I would look at for this is, how big a risk do you want to take? Do you want to be really, really positive, thinking that interest rates are going to go down, thinking that they're peaked and they're going to drop down? If you did that for 2 years, you're going to save $3,000. If you went the opposite and went really negative, interest rates are going to go up, they're going to jump up to 7.5 and 7. You're looking at it costing you, or it being better off being 2-year rate by $7,000. So best case 3, worst case 7,200 negative. And the same for 3 years. Best case 6,750 saved, worst case 13,500 saved. So yeah, it's really worth looking through those numbers. If you, I'm going to share this file. Either I'll put an email address in the comments so that you can grab this file if you want to, or I will put, put it up in a group on Facebook. So we've got a little group we're building, so I'm just trying to find it on here, Grow Your Wealth Through Property, on our link tree. So I'll put that link up as well, and I'll put it in the files section in there. So if you're looking at gaining more information, it'll just be easily available there, or I'll put an email address. You can email through and we'll send you a copy of it. So that's the first thing. Yeah, start thinking about what is the likely what is likely to happen to interest rates, and which gamble do you want to take? Are you wanting to gamble on the real positive for relatively small difference, or do you want to protect against the quite negative for a lot larger difference? So what I suppose I'm getting at to this is, it might be worth looking at some 2- and 3-year rates. 5-year, just so hard to know. It depends on your situation. If you're really conservative, you might want to go for 5 years. Your risk is, if interest rates come down over the 3rd, 4th, 5th year, that can cost you a lot, and that can be a lot that you can lose in there. The advantage, obviously, is if interest rates really jump up, it can save you a lot over those future years. So yeah, it is a hard one, but it seems, definitely having a portion 2 or 3 years just spreads your risk, and you're looking at, if interest rates go down, it costing you a small amount, the 3 or the 6,750, the 2 or 3 years. Versus if interest rates go terrible and get worse and worse and worse, it can actually save you 7 or 13,000. So worth considering those, playing around with those numbers, having a look. And last thing I'd look at is fixed or floating. 7.35% floating, fixed for 5.45 for 1 year. So obviously, if you're kicking around, I'm not sure what's going to happen, maybe in 12 months I'm going to sell it, I would be looking at, you're probably a whole lot better off to fix rather than leave it floating for 12 months. And you could even look at fixing for 6 months. You're looking at $9,500 difference in 1 year on a $500,000 mortgage. So unless you're about to sell, generally, you're looking at keeping it for a while. You've got a reasonable mortgage. Maybe you've got, $200,000 floating. Even for that, you're looking $3,800 savings by fixing. So really think about, how long are you going to have that mortgage for? If it's going to be 6 or 12 months, potentially fixing it is going to save you a lot. So hopefully that's given you something good to think about. Either flick us an email. I'll put the email address in the comments, and we'll both send through that sheet. Or go on to the Grow Your Wealth Through Property Facebook group, and we'll have it in the files section there, and I'll also put that in the comments. Or if you just want to chat through mortgages, a free chat with our mortgage team is a great idea, and I'll put up the link for that as well. Just having a chat to them through some of the options. Like, it's not all just about interest rates. It might be that you need to borrow more to create a buffer or to buy the next property. Potentially, you might be happy to pay more in interest. You might be happy to pay 5 or 10,000 more if it gets you that next property, or gets your subdivision done, or it gets you that money you need so you don't go bust. So it's not all just about interest rates, and a chat with our mortgage team are a great idea. So hopefully that's been helpful, and hopefully you enjoy that. Thanks a lot. Bye.